applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dave's Doghouse. As you see, I have a guest with me today. It's my big brother, Tony. How's it going, big bro?
Hey, it's doing what it's doing, and I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, I'll enjoy my time here.
That's good. That's good. I'm definitely glad that you're here. I'm glad for whoever's watching. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So my Facebook is, my name. If you didn't know it, it's David McFadden. That's my name. And Twitter's, that is my. Let me show you, because my name should pop up. That at the bottom of my name, that is exactly where you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. So that's where we are live at right now on X. Sorry, not Twitter, but X. We got some things to talk about today. My brother, has two specific people that he wants to talk about, but he asked me last week if he can come on the show, and of course, it's my big brother. Why would I say no? He is. For all those who don't know, my brother and my sister Donita are the two reasons why I'm interested in sports, period. So mainly my brother, but we didn't agree on all the teams that we like professionally or in college, but
yeah,
we do agree on one. That's the Boston Red Sox. I don't know if he saw the baseball episode that I was on the other night, but yeah,
I went back and watched it.
Definitely not a good feeling with the Red Sox right now. So, but we here to talk about some other things. So, like, share, subscribe. If you are on YouTube, of course, like, share, subscribe. Same thing for Facebook, Twitter. Make sure you like and comment. Yeah, of course, Tomo. What's up, Tomo? Appreciate you, my guy, for being the first to comment. So it's definitely going to be a lot of good things to talk about today. It is Thursday. I was on the show earlier this morning with Joe, of course. So make sure you tune into the R2L show that we talked about earlier. We talked about a couple free agents. Xavier Howard was one of them. Where is he going to go? Kirk Cousins was another. L'Jarius Sneed is seeking a trade right now, so who knows where he's going to go. And then who's it? Saquon Barkley. Who knows where he's going to go?
They say Houston.
Ooh, yeah, I said Houston too. That's what I said as well. That's what I said as well. Some people are saying Baltimore, but I think Houston might be the perfect spot. But like I said, if you didn't tune in, make sure you tune in there. Shout out to my guy Vaughn, RBO, Real Ballers Only. I was on his show yesterday, actually, me, him, and Teddy, talking about the Celtics and the Miami Heat. And then we talked about two young becoming players, Jalen Johnson from Duke, who plays at Atlanta Hawks, who stepped up, and then Jonathan Kuminga with the Warriors has been stepping up, getting some playing time. So make sure you tune in to RBO and tune into all the other shows. I'll get into that a little bit later. But definitely we have a plethora of shows on the R2L network. This is the show that talks about every sport pretty much. So I talk about soccer. My brother already told me, he said, when you get to the soccer point, I'm gonna be a little quiet.
Call it football.
Football. But I talk about every sport here. Baseball, doesn't matter what it is. I don't know about like stuff like badminton and golf and tennis. You know, that my brother got golf and tennis. That's what he interested. I haven't gotten to that point to where I'm interested in those sports yet. No sports yet. But hey, he'll definitely let you know. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. But before we do, as we do on every show, the R2L show and every Doghouse, is before we tune in, we turn up. Turn me up. Up. All right. So, the very first candidate for the Doghouse. So, just so you know, I usually do one where I look at the ones from last week, but there's no one from last week that's coming out of the Doghouse. So, there's no point in even showing that. If you did not see the last show, just go watch the last episode. So, who might possibly be the very first Doghouse candidate for this week? Well, for those of you who don't know, I am a baseball fan, and one of the teams I do not like are the New York Yankees.
I can't believe you even said their names. But go ahead.
Yeah. You know, we this one of the teams I despise one of the most. It's kind of like how I feel about the Celtics. You know, I despise about them, and it's a plethora of other teams. But we're talking about this specific player that had the opportunity to play with them. And it's not even just to play with them, it's just the contract that he was offered. So if you don't know who I'm talking about right now, just know he used to play for the San Diego Padres. And he is now a free agent. Still a free agent. Don't know why, but let's go ahead and bring him up. Good old Blake Snell. Blake, I'm not sure what you were thinking, my guy. I do understand that you had a good season last year. You know, you played with a team that should have done a lot better than what they did last year. But hey, I mean, it's not your fault. You played your part. But your agent, Scott Boras, I guess he's telling you that you need to get more money. The Yankees offered you a contract that was total of like $168 million. And you're looking for a contract worth about $200 million. Now, not to say that you don't deserve a big contract, but I think $168 million is more than enough. And you could be right now in spring training playing for somebody. But I feel like you and Scott Boras, we all know Scott Boras is a greedy guy. We know how greedy he can be as an agent because most of his guys are still free agents. So, and you're just the biggest name out of those. So I believe that you are just being a little too greedy, my guy. You have an opportunity to play for a team that, you know, I hate to say it, will more likely be in contention for a World Series championship this year because of all the moves that they made. You know, they went and got Juan Soto. They were in the they went and got I had his name right in my head. It was another pitcher that they got this year. They were one of the people that was in contention to get Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, even though it didn't happen. But they were definitely in talks with that. And they made moves. You know, they went and traded for Alex Verdugo, who was one of our players. And, you know, now he done shaved his face and he still wears the chain. So I got to worry about seeing him in pinstripes this season. But Blake Snell, I just feel like you're not doing your due diligence and not putting yourself in the best position because I don't know another team that's going to offer you more money. I could tell you I know a team that won't offer you even $168 million, and that's the Boston Red Sox because they're not offering nobody no money right now. The only person that they offered was Yamamoto, but you know he decided to go ahead and go with the Dodgers, which is, you know, I'm not too mad at that. He got a better chance to winning there than he does here. But Blake, man, I feel like you are wasting your time just trying to wait for a bigger contract when that's just I don't see it happening. You might be sitting there until the first game of the baseball season if you're thinking you're going to get $200 million. So, Tony, what's your thoughts on that?
I think he'll get picked up. But see, I think the problem that he has now is they went out and signed another pitcher after he declined. and they signed someone else, which means that now it makes it even more difficult for him to even sign with the that team, you know, the pinstripe team. So I don't know what he's thinking, right? So now he's really like, for the Yankees to sign him, it's going to cost them even more money because they're going to be throwing away like $38 million if they sign him to right now, because of the luxury tax. So they signed him right now for, let's just say they sign him for 1 year, right? And a $30 million contract. That means that they're going to be over the luxury tax. They're going to pay that luxury tax at 110% over it. So that's going to cost them $68 million, right? For that, they're throwing away $38 million. So that would be crazy. You can't. So here's one of the things you can't do. You can't go off of what you did in the past all the time, right? And what he's trying to go off of is that I think he won a Cy. All right, I think he's a Cy Young, former Cy Young winner, right?
Yeah, he is a former Cy Young winner.
So you can't go off of that all the time, man. You got to come in there and at some point in time, if you were in the desert, right, and someone offered you lukewarm water, right, are you going to say no because they don't have ice in it?
No, I'm taking that water. Sure, I'm thirsty.
Right. And that's basically what he did. He came in there and they offered him some tap water, right? Some room temperature water, right? It wasn't everything you wanted, but it's still water, right? And he decided that he wasn't going to drink, right? He said, "I'm not drinking it." So now he's going to probably go sign with like Minnesota or something like that, right? Sign with somebody, and for like maybe somewhere between, he'll probably sign a 1-year contract to prove himself, and he'll probably make somewhere between that $20-30 million contract or something like that, if that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't see, if it's on a 1-year deal, I can't see the Red Sox not trying to sign him on a 1-year deal, because the guy has an army of explosive arm, so people are going to try to do that. But I definitely understand why you have him in the doghouse.
Yeah, yes. I mean, Blake, man, got to do something about this, my guy. Are you going to sit there and not drink the water and just, be thirsty? Or
he's definitely thirsty.
Or you're going to quench your thirst. So it's all about your decision right now. So, I respect the hustle, but in my opinion, you're just waiting for no reason. So, Blake Snell, you get the call that everyone else gets. Welcome to the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse.
You're on top of the house, right? With it.
All right. Our very next contendant. This team in the NBA has been known for some of the best players to play for this team. We'll go as far as Bill Walton, Clyde Drexler, Dame Time. LaMarcus Aldridge played for this team.
Scottie Pippen,
CJ McCollum. I could go on down the list about who I'm talking about, but I think the names I've said are more than enough for you to know exactly who it is. It's the Portland Trailblazers. Now, if you want to say, well, David, they traded away their best piece. Yeah, I get that. But if you guys remember on my show, I put in the Washington Wizards and the Detroit Pistons. Any team can get it. Don't matter if you're tanking or not. So, you want to know why I have the Blazers in the doghouse?
Why, David? Why?
Let's just say they haven't won a single game in the month of February. They are 0-12 in the month of February. You want to know the games that they played against? So they played against the Nuggets on February 2nd. They lost 120-108. They played against Denver again on the 4th, lost 112-103.
They don't like McDonald's.
They played the Detroit Pistons, the team with the worst record in the NBA right now. 128 to 122 in overtime. They lost to the New Orleans Pelicans, 93 to 84. Couldn't even get 100 points. They lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves, 121 to 109. This is the best team in the West, so can't be too mad at that. Then they lost again to Minnesota the very next game on the 15th, 128 to 91. Couldn't even get 100. Lost in Denver again, 127 to 112.
They
lost to Charlotte. Yeah, they played them 3 times.
Jesus Christ, that's a schedule.
Lost to the Charlotte Hornets, 93 to 80. And they lost to my Miami Heat, 106 to 96. What is going on in Portland? You went and drafted Scoot Henderson, to replace what you had with Damian Lillard. You went and signed. What is his? No, you traded for this guy. The guy that used to play in Phoenix. Tony, you know who I'm talking about, the center.
The center?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name. I know you're talking about.
Carl, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's not really a real trade though.
Hey, it don't matter. They traded for him. And I remember your quote when you decided to not trade. Yeah, DeAndre Ayton. Thank you, Vaughn. That's my guy. My man, RBO only. DeAndre Ayton. Went and traded for DeAndre Ayton. And this was your quote, Joe Cronin, when you decided not to trade Damian Lillard to his destination in Miami. And I'm not upset that you didn't trade him to Miami. It's just what you said. What you said was that you wanted to still have a team to compete. It don't look like your team competing right now. It looks like they're competing to get a top pick. That's what it looks like. So
I mean, that's the competition.
Yeah, there you go. They got some competition. They got the Hornets that they got to battle with. They got the Detroit Pistons, the Washington Wizards. Those are teams you're competing with right now. So I guess that's maybe it's my fault. Maybe I didn't understand what you meant by competition. Maybe you meant competing for the top pick. Okay, if that's what you meant, then I get it. If that's what you get, is that what you get? Then I get it. I get it. But it makes me chuckle a little bit to see that the team that didn't give me a player that I like, that wanted to come to Miami, is losing really bad, really, really bad. So
let me pull the violin out for you because you seem to be a little salty about that.
I am very salty, very salty. I said I wasn't, but I lied. So go ahead and bring the violins on. Put a little tear in my eye. But it's all good because my Miami Heat still are one of the best teams in the East right now. We're top 5 right now. So good to see where we are at the moment. So we are playing the Nuggets right now. Don't know what's going to happen in that game, but hey, I'll tune in after this show is over.
You should be good at our fights.
Hey, as long as Jimmy out there, there's definitely a fight possible. So Tony, what's your thoughts on the Blazers?
Is anybody really thinking about them? like I'm being real. Like nobody really thinking about them, right? They are. I mean, I don't know, man. It's not. I mean, but let me give a different perspective of this. Man, they play a brutal schedule. Like just thinking about the people the teams that they play, that's a pretty brutal schedule. You know what I'm saying? Now. I can see that they were competitive in some of those games, right? But I mean, it's pretty brutal, right? It's a pretty brutal schedule for a young team, and they haven't really got nobody up there. You know what I'm saying? Like they
look. Hey, all I'm saying is they said that they was going to compete.
I know they said, but I mean, you can pretty much you remember in wrestling when what's the guy's name? The guy that be coming out there, whatever his name is, right? Braun Strowman. Remember when he came out there and faced the two I can't think of their names, but he faced 2 wrestlers and they took out his partner. He went and grabbed a little kid from the audience and they came in and they won the tag team titles and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember that happened? That's pretty much the Blazers. That's what they can go into the stands and probably get people out the stands and they could probably come in there competing for that whole spot on that team. Like I mean, the Pistons are even playing better. You know what I'm saying? I was in there hollering about what was that last week's show? I was in there joking about how we were beating them by 20, and they came back and knocked it down to like 6 points, and I was sitting in there like this. Oh Jesus, the Pacers.
Well, remember, if it wasn't for a travel that Paolo had did, they would have won that game. But you know, they didn't call it travel. He definitely double stepped, and then but he bucked he banked the shot.
But not by NBA standards. NBA standards, you can take like 6 steps and stuff like that before.
That's true, because you know they allow James Harden to take about 8 steps a game.
Yeah,
you know, does about 6.
I mean that, and you know you can dive into players' legs while they're running down the court, and you know you can win games that way too. You know
that too.
But anyway,
you play tackle football and basketball.
Yeah, you know they out there playing rugby. But anyway, yeah, man. You see how we talked about everything but the Blazers just a second ago?
Exactly.
That's how important the Blazers are, man. Like they are not. Yes, Tom, that you're right. The refs should have been in the doghouse for back-to-back games with the Knicks, right? Yeah, I know we're talking about the Blazers, but I need to talk about the Knicks real quick. How do you come in there and get a play for you one game and come back the next game and complain about another play and some you want them to come in there and relook at this? Man, the Knicks are like my sub people. They like right outside the house of the being in their doghouse. How you come in there and you get a gift and then you want another gift? Be quiet. It ain't Christmas every week. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. The Blazers just gonna be the Blazers. It's a race for the bottom. Everybody's trying to go to the bottom so they can see. Now, I think they all trying to get that kid out of Tennessee. But anyway, just saying.
Yeah, that dude is nice.
Definitely just saying. Nice. Anyway, that's it. You can move on. We can drop the mic on that team.
Well, as my brother said, we dropping the mic. Portland Trail Blazers. You're trailing
nothing.
You're trailing to the doghouse. So you get the call that everyone gets. Welcome to the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse. All right. Now we move to college basketball. Carl, I hope you're watching. I hope you are watching, Carl. Mr. CTC himself. If you don't know what that is, that's Carl Talking College. Make sure you tune into Carl Talking College on YouTube. It's another show part of the network. My guy Carl. So he does a great show with that.
I need to get on there with him too.
So this guy is a commentator for college basketball. We all know that he pretty much loves Duke basketball. And he will pretty much go out his way to defend Duke players. He is a former Duke player. So, of course, he's going to do that. This is an alum. However, there was a situation that happened between Wake Forest and Duke when Duke went to Wake Forest and lost the game by 4, I believe. I think it was 83-79. And, you know, most of the time when an unranked team beats a ranked team, they storm the court. You know, we know that it's been outlawed for a while, but we know that students are pretty much going to do whatever they want to do. That's just what happens. So there's a situation that happened in the game when they stormed the court. And at first view, it looks like someone meant to injure Kyle Filipowski. However, Jay Billis feels like it should be outlawed. Well, that they need to be locked up. That's what he said. Said that they need to be locked up because it's dangerous. Now, I want someone to tell me, when was the last time someone got injured from people storming the court? If you got one, Tony, let me know.
I mean, it happened a few years ago. It was a freak incident though, but it wasn't like the person was running out there and because they had like stuff on the floor, they ran into the leg or something like that. So it wasn't like it was an intentional thing like the claim for this one here was, but it has happened, and it's become dangerous. I remember in college football itself when they taking the goalpost down, it almost injured someone. When it almost injured someone with their goalpost coming down. So Do I agree with what he is saying? You never invited. I'm waiting on the invite. Anyway, um
You waiting on the invite, Teddy? He
wait
said
on the
send him the
invite, Teddy.
invite.
Um, so um, so it is a pretty dangerous thing when you have people. So the problem with it is that most of the time there's alcohol involved. And because of the
Absolutely.
alcohol being involved, some people become belligerent and do a lot of things in there that take away the fun of it. It's never really been that way um, for um, for players, and you never really have to worry about the safety of them. I remember I know that one of the coaches used to do. I forgot who it was, but one of the coaches when they knew they were going to lose like that in one of the ranked teams, what they would do is send everyone else inside. Um, in the locker room first, and then try to get the other players off the floor after a while. But for him to say someone need to get locked up, he's going way out. I think I watched that segment. I think you're talking about I think he was on First Take, and I think it was. And I think I watched him when he said it. And when he said it, I looked at him and I was like, man, he's gonna get killed for that. Like, and he got killed on X pretty hard for saying something like that. I don't know why he was he would even suggest someone being arrested for that. Now it is a really, and I think it needs to be controlled a lot more. Like if you are at home and you're that type of team, as the school needs to take more control of protecting some people. So yeah, right. I remember that too, Teddy, when Caitlin Clark got smacked. So
Mhm.
the school the school needs to take more responsibility in protecting all the players, not just the away team, but all the players on there, because some of the players from Wake Forest got jumped on by other people and hit the floor pretty hard too.
Mhm.
So I understand where he was going with it. He just like Jay Billis does, especially when he's like calling games or he's like saying he just take things too far sometimes.
Mhm.
And when he's doing it, and I think his heart was in there, but his mind was somewhere else when he was thinking on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you go look at the actual situation,
Yeah, it was
what
all.
happened was Kyle Filipowski tried to trip someone up, and he
Mhm.
whiffed it. He whiffed the trip, and he got pushed because he tried to trip somebody up,
Mhm.
and he got hurt. So it's his fault.
Yeah,
It's his fault. And
kind of like he
honestly,
missed those jump shots that night too.
there you go. And then what you need to do, Kyle and Duke, to prevent that from happening is not allow them to win. So there you go. That's the other way of preventing it. Just win the game. You win the game, you don't have to worry about nobody storming the court. But you also got to make sure that you protect yourself and not try to push somebody and then try to say that they intentionally tried to hurt you. Because now you're not taking accountability, and I got a problem with that. I'm a Duke fan, but I'm not with that. You got to take accountability on that.
My man thought he was in Mexico. He was like, "Ole!" He missed the whole thing, dude. I
Missed
was dying.
everything.
When I saw it from a different angle, man, I was dying laughing. I said, "My man missed the whole, Mister whole leg."
So, Jay Billis, even though you are a Duke alumni, and I do appreciate Duke alumni, you get the same call that everyone else gets because you're not giving Kyle the accountability that he needs to have. So, Jay Billis, welcome to the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse.
They carried it on so long and was like, "Hey, he doesn't have a serious injury, bro." I was in tears. I was like, "I bet he don't. The only thing that's injured is his ego."
That's funny. Okay, Teddy. So Teddy said, "Got to be like Reggie Jackson in the '80s when the fans rushed the field." That's funny.
I know. I saw that too. I was like,
Oh
"Jay,
man,
they took it back."
he definitely took it back. So now we have, for the first time ever, a returning doghouse member. This one, I will not lead. I will allow my brother to lead this because this is who he voted to be in the doghouse. And I said, you know what? Since you're the guest on my show, I'm going to allow this and I want you to introduce it. So I'm just going to say what they've done in their careers. So this is a Super Bowl winning head coach. He coached guys like Drew Brees and now Russell Wilson. He is he has been known as one of the best offensive minds in football. However, we did not see that come into fruition last season with Russell Wilson as his quarterback. He's supposed to be the quarterback guru, the quarterback fixer, and it did not happen this season. And he's had some choice words at the combine that my brother's going to talk about. If you don't know who I'm talking about right now, it's Sean Payton. So, Tony, the floor is yours.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you passing it off on to me. Now, look, here's my deal. Everybody, there's nobody that watch football today that don't know that Russell Westbrook. I gotta shack this. Take my glasses off here. There's nobody that watches football today that don't know that Russell Westbrook will not be playing for the Denver Broncos next year. Nobody that knows that, right? Is that factual?
That's factual, but you said Westbrook, you meant Wilson.
I'm sorry, Russell Wilson. I'm sorry, Westbrook's playing ball and all. He's balling. I give him credit. Anyway, Russell Wilson will not be playing for the Denver Broncos. Everybody knows that. Like, why would you come out there and say we're going to be making a decision about? We haven't come to a decision about Russell yet. We'll be making a decision in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Why? Why wait? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Right? You're not going to pay him the money. You're not going to pay him the bonus. Everybody knows why you're doing it. You're going to go with Jarrett Stidham, and you're going to lose like you did beforehand. Like, you have disrespected this man so much this year that I don't even respect you as a coach anymore. I don't respect you as a coach anymore because you went off of what you heard beforehand and treated him like he was some college player out there and not a Super Bowl winning. Well, he should have been 2 times, because I don't know why they didn't run the ball. But anyway, he should have been he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Like, how do you treat someone that way? How do you treat someone in the manner of how you treated them when the last game they played for you, Sean, they beat the Super Bowl winning champions. I mean, am I wrong, David? They beat the last game he played. They beat Kansas City, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So how do you treat this guy? Like, you should be. I don't even know if the house is good enough for you. You're more like manure to me because the fact that you treated this guy like this, you came in here with all these accolades of what you did, and you haven't earned the right to be what you are right now because Drew Brees made you.
Ooh, I haven't heard that. Ooh.
Drew Brees made him. A lot of his play calls in there, Drew Brees was audibleizing out of there to another play. Just saying.
Sean Payton sounds like you got some explaining to do. Some explaining.
He does. I mean, come on, man. You've already embarrassed him enough. Why come in here and talk about, we're going to go through we're going to go through the combine and then after, in 2 weeks we'll make a decision. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, dude. Like, you've disrespected that man enough. Let that man go. Find another team. Find someone that wants him. We don't want you in New England. But just want to point that out. Try Atlanta.
Just so you know, that don't mean that we won't.
Try Atlanta and one of those other teams. They said something that was pretty interesting. Someone said something that was pretty interesting. I think it was said on First Take for Russell, for him to go and play in I think they talking about him going and backing up Aaron Rodgers for a year. I was like, that's an interesting thing, right? I thought about it for a while, and I was like, that's a pretty interesting thing for him to do, to go in there and because Aaron's going to play for a year. Russ got another good 5 years in him, right?
Just about, I would say
5-6 years in him, right? Why not take a year off, get a small amount of money? I mean, because Denver's going to have to pay him anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's what I said, right?
All right.
I'm just saying. I'll put my glasses back on. But Sean Payton, like you are scum to me, man. I've never.
Oh,
I don't like. No, man. Because here's my thing. Like you don't want him there, right? This is like. This is like a bad marriage. You know how marriages go on sometimes where couples sleep in the other room. You know how that happens sometimes where couples sleep in the other room. That's pretty much the relationship between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he treated him like he did on the sideline that time, where he screamed at him like he did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you make. How about call a play call? You got two good. You had really two good receivers there. How about call plays to get them open so that he can actually throw the ball to them? Maybe it's your play calling, Sean.
Ooh, Sean, it's a lot of fire. It's a lot of fire up against you, my guy. So right. I'll put you in the doghouse before. My brother has now put you in. So you get the call that everyone else gets. Sean Payton, welcome back to the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse. Ooh, had my brother upset.
No, really, man. Come on, man. Just think about it, man. Russell Westbrook is a guy that is a real likable guy, right? Like his performance on the field the last couple years hasn't been up to par. But I mean, he had what? He didn't have that bad of a year last year.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, you look at his numbers. The numbers weren't that bad for him to treat him the way he's treated him, and that's the only thing about it that I really have a problem with how Sean Payton is treating him.
Hey, well, I can't say that I don't disagree. But hey, there aren't a lot of people that that will agree, more than likely. But well, that's what we have chats for, you know. So if you have an issue, have an issue with what Tony said, add them in the chat.
Oh yeah, we can have it out in the chat tonight. I got some caffeine right here in my cup right now. I'm up all night long.
Ooh. Tony said he ready for all the smoke, y'all. So, our very last inductee to the doghouse, before we get to the dogs, before we do the commercial, of course. He's a former NFL GM. He has one of the most famous last names known to football history. He had a quote about Antonio Pierce. And I'm going to talk about that quote as I bring him up. Michael Lombardi. What's up, Mike? How you doing, my guy? Michael Lombardi said about Antonio Pierce, he thinks he knows the Raider way because he's from Compton. It's a joke. This guy is driving me crazy. Can he just shut up? Why won't somebody in the Raiders tell him to shut up? Now, Mike. Mike. I wanna be like Mike. Not you. Not you. What you need to do, Mike, is sip some tea and shut your mouth. Antonio Pierce is a former football player. You do know that correctly. You know, he's played against the Raiders throughout his career. I hope you know that. You do know that he is a Super Bowl winning linebacker in the NFL. He's from Compton, which makes a lot of sense. And you don't think he would know the Raider way when he grew up in the area where the Raiders were loved the most? I'm not from California, but I'm pretty sure you would guess who's the most loved team in Compton. Would it be the Chargers? Would it be the 49ers or the Raiders? You take a guess on that. It's the Raiders. Raiders is the team that they love and they relate to the most. Raider Nation. That's what they call the Skulls. Well, no, that's Minnesota. Sorry. Apologize for that. But look.
It's like, when did we get to the Midwest?
Raider way is exactly the attitude that he carries. What he brought
Linebacker
to that team in the second half of the season is the Raider way. Michael Lombardi, do you know what the Raider way is? Were you there as a coach or as a GM, as a player? My memory says no. So I don't think you qualified to tell somebody who's from Compton, who played in the NFL, who played against this team, to tell them to shut up or not. When it comes to a team that they are now the head coach of, that you obviously are not, to tell them to shut up. Because Antonio Pierce knows exactly what he's talking about. What did the guys in the locker room say? What did Max Crosby say? Max Crosby said, if Antonio Pierce is not hired, trade me.
Mm-hmm.
How does Devontae Adams feel? He feels great. Because now he don't have to worry about Jimmy Garoppolo throwing him the ball anymore.
At least for 2 games.
Exactly. This team rallied around Antonio Pierce. They looked like a totally different team when he took over. And he rightfully so became the next head coach because he deserved it more than anybody else. The only person I would have been okay with them giving it to was Jim Harbaugh. But he's in Sandy. He's with the Chargers. What I'm saying is someone who brings who's a football kind of a guy who galvanized the team.
Because he played for the Bears?
No, because he coaches the 49ers. What you mean? I ain't talking about that.
Joe, I saw that today. I noticed that, right?
Number 1 defense. Thank you, Joe. The Raiders had the number 1 defense once he took over. That's not easy to do. But he came in there and changed life. So, Michael Lombardi, before you can say anything about Antonio Pierce knowing the Raider way, I think you need to figure out your credentials if you know what the Raider way is. And this also, to me, sounds like shut up and do your job. Almost like what they told LeBron James when they told him shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
So, Michael Lombardi, you need to shut up and report. Tony, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, man. I didn't understand where he was going at and what he planned to accomplish with those comments. Antonio Pierce is the perfect coach for that team. Right? He's very much a hard-nosed, but he's a player's coach. You know what I'm saying? And you can pretty much tell how they were after he got there. He allowed them to be them. He allowed them. He made some decisions that I questioned, but I think that he's done. He's good. You know what I'm saying? He was different. Definitely, like you're saying, Carl. He was definitely tripping when he said that. You know what I'm saying? So, exactly, yo. Yeah, you're right, bro. So I don't know, man. I don't know where that came from. It came from left field. So I don't know where he maybe if he explained why he said what he said, it still wouldn't make any sense.
Yep, still wouldn't make sense.
It still wouldn't make any sense because because of how much that team has been. The team was built to win, but it couldn't win with the guy they had at coach.
Absolutely.
All right. And when they flipped it around, he actually did a lot better than anyone could possibly have thought. I was skeptical of it, but after like the 3rd game, I was like, oh, my man actually can coach. Coaches pretty well. So yeah, you're right. He needs to shut up.
Michael Lombardi. I think I might make a separate Doghouse for you because you just sound really foolish right now. I think I need to put you in your own house, and not even have your name on it. No water, no food, just no access to anything. You're gonna be living in the Doghouse off the grid.
They're gonna Michael Vick you. You better stop.
Hey, look, I'm not talking about an actual dog. I'm talking about Michael Lombardi. So, Michael Lombardi. Welcome to the Doghouse. My guy, you in the Doghouse. And before we start with the dogs of the week, we're going to go ahead and do a little commercial break. So we'll be back in about a minute. See you.
Yo, my name is Lambo Anlo.
This is Dimitri.
This is Ed Hahn.
My name is Daryl Julian, and this is
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
All right, and we're back. So welcome back to the Doghouse. You know, we are now a part of the positive part of the show, of course. So, you know, I believe we did a good job with the Doghouse. Now let's talk about the guys in teams that are doing well in their respective sports. So I don't think you guys are going to be surprised about one of these players that one of these teams that I put in here, because I am a fan of this team. And they have actually played pretty well. You can yawn all you want, because we've done a lot better than your Pacers have been since we can, you know, remember that you guys were actually in their glory days. This team is based in Miami, Florida. No, it's not the Miami Dolphins. No, it's not the Miami Hurricanes. This team has been to the finals 2 of the last 4 years. As a 5th seed and the 8th seed, they were the very first team to be in the play-in to make the NBA finals. Now they lost the finals 4-1, of course, to the better team in the Denver Nuggets. But this year, you know, they did some things to be able to help this team out a lot better. Okay, Tony. Neither have y'all. Y'all haven't even gotten close to winning yet. But you know, players on this team I can name, like, you know, Rashawn Leonard, Rafe Alston has played for Miami.
Oh, I was like, I thought the Bells were retired.
No, not players now, but I'm just naming all the players that
I'm with you now. I'm with you now.
You got Caron Butler that has played for this team. Yes, I know, Vaughn. I know that. You did not have to tell me this. I know this. I appreciate you for updating me, but I already knew this. You know, I know this because I have the updates on my phone. So, but
we won last night.
So
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm messing your segment up. Go ahead.
And you know, the more famous players that play for us: Alonzo Mourning, you know, Shaquille O'Neal.
Did Shaq really play?
Shut up. Chris Bosh, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry. These are some of the players that have played for this franchise. And I'm simply talking about none other than the Miami Heat. Now, it is because of what they've done within the last 10, 11 games. So Miami Heat have won 9 of their last 11 games, 7 of their last 8 games. This has been led by Bam Adebayo, who's right now averaging career highs in points and rebounds right now. Mm-hmm. We are currently on a 5-game win streak, even though we are currently down 12 to the Denver Nuggets at the moment. But we're currently on a 5-game win streak.
Isn't that 6?
No, it's 5.
Oh, okay, I thought it was 6.
No, it's 5. Because we won 2 games before the All-Star break, then won the next 3 after. So this is the game right now. It's the 4th game after that. So we've beaten the Pelicans. We beat the Kings in their house without Jimmy Butler, without Terry Rozier, without Tyler Hero. So we went on the road in what was considered a trap game, and we beat the Kings. Beat the Pelicans when there was a brawl going on between Thomas Bryant and Jose Alvarado, and then Jimmy Butler and Najee got into it as well. Najee's from the DMV, so shout out to Najee.
You want to shout out to him when he was choking Jimmy Butler?
Hey, that's Jimmy's problem, not mine. Jimmy started it, so hey, I can't be too mad at that. But this team has impressed me simply because we haven't made any really major moves. The biggest move we made was getting Terry Rozier, trading away Kyle Lowry in a first-round pick in 2027 for him. So it's something that I was just like, oh, okay, I see. It's a nice move because Terry Rozier is a scorer. He fits Miami's mold. Kyle Lowry, when we traded him originally, we wanted him to be that guy to be able to, create his own shot and everything. And it kind of didn't work out. So we sent him to New Orleans. He's now with Philly because he got bought out. But Terry Rozier has stepped up. He's now starting to come into form. Tyler Hero is playing a lot better. He's averaging the career high on points right now. And this is the second half of the season. This is when Miami Heat really starts to turn up and play a little bit better because they're really focusing on playoff seeding. Right now, we are 5th in the East. We started off 8th, so we were in the play-in, and now we are, 5th right now. If you look at the standings, we will be scheduled to play the 76ers at this moment. And that's, that's if Embiid comes back or not. We don't know. But the 2 teams that have been dropping lately are the 76ers and the Knicks. Because they both have injuries going on right now. We are pretty healthy, kind of, sort of. I think the only injuries we have right now is Tyler Hero and Josh Richardson. So those are really the only 2 that we have to worry about at the moment. But this team has impressed me because they're playing really well, and they're playing good against other good competition. So that's what I like to see. And if you remember what I did last year this time, I wasn't overly excited at all because we still had Kyle Lowry on the team. But Kevin Love is stepping up off the bench. Jaime Jaquez is really starting to ball out. Shout out to RBO Vaughn. He highlighted him on his show. But these guys are improving and impressing me. So that's why I have Miami Heat as dogs. Your thoughts, Tony?
I think they suck. No, I'm messing with you. All right. So no. Actually, and just to put my basketball hat on and not my, I don't like the Heat hat. I'll take that one off. No, they actually have been balling, man. They've been playing really well. I think the one thing that they've done more than anything is stepped up defensively more than anything. I think that they've had some timely defensive plays that helped them to win a lot of games. But you're right, man. I didn't expect for them to, and I thought when you said the Sacramento thing, I thought you were just taking the arrow out and shooting your thing at Joe. But
I'm honest when it comes to basketball.
We'll see how Joe responds to that. But no, man, they really been playing well. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. I think they are, right.
9-1 in the last 10 games.
9-1 in the last 11 games, right? But I think they're like 8, and I think I checked it before I came in here. I think
we're 9-2 in the last 11, but 9-1 in the last 10.
Yeah, so they're playing really well. And you're right; those 2 teams are dropping. So I'm pretty sure that Miami and Indiana are headed to probably face each other because we're 7-3 in the last 10. You guys are 1 game better than we are. So We're right behind the 76ers right now. So I think it's yeah.
You know it, Teddy.
But no, so I think you guys have made some pretty decent moves. I think the Rozier move was really good. I still like Cal. But I think that you guys got better with that pickup. So did a lot to get rid of him though. That first round draft pick is a lot, but I understood why they did it.
Vaughn got some words for you. He said, "No, y'all behind the Magic now." So,
Don't worry. Well, we got to pay the Pelicans again tomorrow. So, and we'll be back up again.
Shots fired. Well, Miami Heat, you're making me proud, but I'm not overly excited. Just I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing you did last year when y'all.
Nah, I was worse last year. Last year I said we was the first round exit. That's what I said last year.
I just thought you was just saying everything you were saying to try to not sound like you were excited, but you were excited. You were excited. You were excited.
Somewhat. I'm just not like yes, we got it. I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna win a championship. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not there yet. But I like what we're doing. So
health is gonna be.
Welcome to the Dogs Miami Heat. I'm proud of you.
One of the things for you guys is going to be health. If you guys stay healthy, then you'll remain there. As long as you don't get no major injuries, you'll be good.
Yeah, I think so too. Welcome, Miami Heat. Shout out to Tomo for the new dog growl. I definitely appreciate that, my guy.
My dog is downstairs.
Now I know my brother's going to be pretty silent on this one.
I'm gonna talk a little bit. I got you.
Okay. So now we're gonna get into some soccer.
Football.
For those of you who do not know, I am a soccer fan, but the team that I like have not been good for a little while. Manchester United. So, sorry, Manchester United fans. I'm actually putting another Manchester team players in the Dogs of the Week because this guy has just been playing out of his mind this season with this team. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring him up. Eric Haaland. He is one of the best players in soccer right now. He plays for Manchester City. He is only 23 years old, and yet he has 20 hat tricks already at the age of 23. In the last 83 games he's played, he has 79 goals. The last game he played, he had 5 goals in the game by himself.
On 7 shots.
On 7 shots.
That's crazy.
What's crazy is Rashford, who's on another team, has 5 goals for the entire season. And Haaland got 5 in one game. So that tells you how that is. So the most goals in his career has been 5, and he's done it twice. He did it against Leipzig last season, and he did it against Luton the other night. He has as many seasons as games with 5 goals in a Man City shirt. Crazy. The most goals by a PL player in the last 2 seasons, guess who leads it? Eric Haaland. 79 in all competitions, 53 just in the Premier League. Just in the Premier League, he has 53, which is ridiculously crazy. Yeah, Teddy, this guy is like that. He is like that. What's another thing is Erling Haaland has a ridiculous 94 goal contributions in just 83 matches since joining Manchester City. So I already said how many goals he got. So you just got to go ahead and do the math. If I say this, it's 94. 94 from 79 is 15. So he has 15 assists to go along with 79 goals. What's crazy is he's the best player on the team that has five players that are good at their position.
Mm-hmm.
That's Haaland, KDB, and I'm gonna talk about him a little later. Rodri, Foden, and Diaz. All of them are the best at their position. It is almost cheating that these Manchester City has these 5 players in their team. It's almost like they're guaranteed to win. But Erling Haaland is a beast. I don't really know what else you can really say about him other than that he has been dominating football for a good little while now. For those who have not watched soccer, you need to tune in to at least watch this young kid play. Like, I don't know if you heard me early. He is only 23 years old, and he has 20 hat tricks. There are some people that don't have 10 hat tricks in their career, and he has 20, and he hasn't even been in the league that long. Any thoughts, Tony?
Yeah, I watched a lot of stuff that he does. The fact that as a striker he has a 91 rating as a doggone striker is crazy. You don't normally get that from that position. Just watching him go up and down the field. First of all, I would never play soccer. I'm just gonna tell you, too much running, right, up and down there, right. But but this guy has a motor that just like he has. I remember I almost got in trouble with one of my best friend and I was going on a fishing trip, and we were on this fishing trip. I went to his friend Nelson was talking about his wife's friend, her best friend. He hates that woman, and sleep. Right. I woke up 45 minutes later. He was still talking about her 45 minutes later. And I almost got in trouble because I didn't realize that my best friend had his phone on the speak to talk on the call. And I sent him a text message that said, "Hey, your boy got a pack of Energizer batteries in his mouth." And it came off and said it. That's this family. That's him. That dude right there is he got a pack of Energizer batteries in his back. It's unreal how much stamina he has. It's unreal the angles he scores on. Like some of the angles are just ridiculous. Right? It's a safe bet that he's going to score at least once in a game, or at least assist once in a game. It's
for all my parlay people. If you see his name in there for a goal, go ahead and take it.
Go ahead and go with him.
Go ahead and take it. I'm telling you right now, it's almost a guaranteed goal.
He does not disappoint, man. I watched some of the I was watching some of his highlights on my phone, and I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I don't know too much about soccer, but I know that when the ball is supposed to go in the net, and he seems to do it a lot. So so yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts about him. He's a fantastic player. I understand why. I was always wondering why on the ESPN they were showing it so much, and I understand why. That kid is awesome.
Yeah, this dude is balling, and I want to give him his just due. So, Erling Haaland, welcome to the Dogs. So, as I said, I have another person to talk about that is his partner, someone that also plays on his team. I mentioned his name already, KDB. If you don't know what that means, it's Kevin De Bruyne. So let me go ahead and bring him up. Let me tell you what this guy has been doing for soccer and for this team. So the 3 chances he created all went to Erling Haaland, and guess what? All 3 were goals. So that was just in the first half. by the way. He now leads the FA Cup in assists this season after only one start. He has 10 assists in 2024. Bruno this season only has 7. The guard only has 6, and so this matters. He's played in 12 games this year, started in 6 of those games, and has 11 assists. Kevin De Bruyne reminds me of a John Stockton or a Steve Nash when it comes to soccer. Because no matter where he is, he going to find you. And he going to make sure you get a chance to make a bucket. Or should I say make a shot. So KDB is like the perfect setup for Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is trying to score. KDB is trying to get all the assists he can get. He's trying to make sure he feeds everybody on the field. And if you watch him, he has some of the best IQ on the soccer field. He pretty much knows exactly where everyone's going to be at. He has some of the most fundamentally sound dribbling skills. Dribbling is, when they do the kick with their feet and doing tricks and stuff. He has some of the most fundamentally sound.
The fact that you had to explain that is just so
because some people, when they hear dribbling, they think about basketball. So I had to explain what it meant.
Ain't nobody using their hand in this sport.
Just saying. So he's one of the most fundamentally sound guys when it comes to that. And he's been setting up his guys for success. As you see with the numbers, he's only played in 12 games this year and he has 11 assists. That's basically an assist a game. So no matter where it is, just know he gonna find you. And Erling Haaland is like, good, because I'm trying to score. I'm trying to score as much as I can. And he has like I said, there are other guys on this team that are actually really good as well. And he's making sure he set all of them up. They have one of the best goalkeepers in soccer right now. So I'm telling you, KDB and Erling Haaland have both deserved to be on this list. And these guys, like Tony said, I don't know if I could play soccer. I don't got that much stamina. I ain't trained for that. You gotta start young to be able to do that. And trust me and Tony were playing football and basketball. That's about it. But Tony did everything else like golf and all that. But I did football and basketball. I wasn't worrying about all of the other stuff. Tony, you got any thoughts on KDB?
Yeah. So you're pretty much right when you talk about him. I would probably liken him more to being like the Jason Kidd of soccer. And the only reason why I would say Jason Kidd is because of how he passes. I see a lot of other players in there, and their setups are on point, but his is more of a unique thing. He'll pass the ball and at times when you think that he shouldn't do it, and he'll do it anyway, and that sets your boy up. He had 4 assists the last game or something like that. So I mean, yeah, I don't think that I could like I said, I couldn't play the sport. Well, I probably could. It's just that I don't think any of the balls will go into the net, but my man out this Joe kicking off every time he kick the ball.
Facts.
He 5 feet from the net. He out here kicking off. Anyway, but yeah, so that whole team is is actually awesome. They have a great line, and the coach actually mixed it up really well with them. So, yeah, I think that you got two guys, especially for this week. And well, shoot, you could have just put them in it for the last game, but but yeah, they 2 good picks.
So KDB, I am absolutely happy to see what you're doing, even though I wish you was doing it for Manchester United, not Man City. Because it would be better if it was for us and not for the enemy. But that has nothing to do with me. I'm not in charge of those things. But I definitely glad that you are, playing lights out, and welcome to the Dogs.
Got a soccer game for yourself.
Yes. Now we're gonna talk about some college basketball.
UConn?
No.
Oh,
You missed the part when I did UConn, but I definitely already have UConn as one of the Dogs. I mean, y'all lost the other night, so I don't know.
It's the only team I hear about in college basketball.
I don't know about that, but that's none of my business. This is a team that is, I believe they are now ranked in college basketball. Carl would know this more than I do. This is someone that he voted to put in here.
I think 25th.
25th ranked, so they're finally ranked, but they're ranked last, of course. But hey, don't matter. They're ranked right now.
First time in school history.
First time in school history. This team is also in Florida. But as I said, this is not the Miami Hurricanes that I'm talking about. It's definitely not Florida State. It's none of those teams. I am talking about South Florida. USF, University of South Florida. Now, you want to wonder why I have this team there? Well, because they have won every single game this month. And the only game they lost last month was against UAB. So, in 15 games, they went 14-1. That is impressive in itself. So, they beat Temple January 4th, 76-68. Lost against UAB on that Sunday, on the 7th, 75-71. Then they went and beat these teams. They beat Rice. They beat 10th ranked Memphis. They beat Wichita State, Temple, UTSA, East Carolina. Then when you go to this month, they went and beat North Texas, Charlotte, beat Rice again, beat Tulsa, beat 24th ranked FAU, beat UTSA again. And just this Sunday, they beat SMU 75-68. And as Carl said, might be the best college basketball team in Florida right now, because Florida is not playing well. University of Miami is not playing well. Florida State is not up to par. FAU is not up to par. They just beat FAU. So this very well might be the best team in Florida right now. And that's crazy to say, because I think a lot of people may have thought that it would be University of Miami or Florida State. I more so thought that Miami would be a lot better right now, but they have, been pretty much taken over. In the very last game that they played, they had two players come off the bench and put up at least 18 points. Selton Miguel put up 18 points in that game with 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 3-7 from 3. And then Kashawn Pryor had put up 19 points in that game with 2 rebounds, even though he didn't shoot anything from 3. South Florida Bulls are 21-5 on the season. One of the best teams in college basketball. As Carl said, just very well might be the best team in Florida right now. Won 5 of the last 6, won 14 of their last 15 games.
Mm-hmm.
No, Carl, they won their last few games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They won 6. All 7 games they played this month, they won. So they won 7 the last 7 games, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
The last game they lost was January 7th against UAB. Oh, the Gators. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. So Florida Gators won 5 of their last 6. But this is USF, and they have 3 games left on the season right now. They got Charlotte to play tomorrow, 4 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Then they have Tulane and Tulsa. So they could very well go undefeated at the end of the college basketball regular season. And then, they're going to have the conference tournament that they got. So it's going to be something. South Florida has won. That's right. They have won 13 straight games. 13 straight. That's crazy. No matter who they play, and 2 of those teams were ranked. They, like I said, they beat 10th ranked Memphis and they beat 24th ranked FAU. So they definitely doing their thing. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to CTC. Carl's definitely going to talk about Florida playing against USC on SC on Saturday. I believe that's South Carolina or USC. I can't remember. I think
South Carolina. I think it is.
So, and Carl, if you don't know, Carl is an alumni of South Carolina, so he definitely going to talk about them. So make sure you tune in to CTC tomorrow to see what Carl has to say about that. Tony, your thoughts on USF. I know you said this is the first time they've done this in their entire basketball history and men's college basketball. So what's your thoughts?
Just to clear something up, Florida will probably be better than them right now since they're ranked 24th. But anyway, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, they've been playing. They've been balling, man. If you had to look at their record and stuff like that, they're 14-2 at home. But what's more impressive is how they played on the road. The only UNC has a better record than them on the road. If you had to go and put their top 10 teams in there, they're tied with Purdue. I think Houston is 5-3 or something like that. Purdue and UConn are both 6-3. All of those teams in there are pretty much on the road, so they're a pretty good road team. Do I think they're gonna go far in the tournament? They may win the first game, depending on where they're placed. The placement is going to be what's going to be key for them, as far as the tournament go. But yeah, they've been playing pretty good ball lately. You can only play against who's put in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, they don't come out there and tell the other teams to lie down for them, to win as many games in a row as they have. They're up there with UConn when UConn went on that long stretch of winning, only to be beaten by Creighton last week. But, there was a long stretch of winning. So they're balling, man. They are there's some teams up here I'm looking at right now that they can upset, and these ranked teams right now. I think they can beat Dayton. They can probably beat San Diego State.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Alabama will be they'll be a tough out for Alabama. So they you get it to the Tennessees and all the rest of them. That's going to be a different story. But yeah,
no one cares about the Tar Heels, Vaughn.
So since they were brought up, let's talk about them.
We have a bet going on currently between Duke and UNC over who's going to win the series.
Well, that's normal, but they're not a team that plays up to their potential. They're not a team that plays up to their potential. They actually are better than what they play. I mean, they can't beat UConn because we've already proven that this season. Ooh. But yeah, just saying. But no, man. As far as South Florida, I head off to them, hands clap. Keep moving on. They'll probably win a tournament, so they'll probably go in they'll hurt them a lot and say they played a weak schedule, so they'll probably go in and like if they win their tournament, they'll probably go in at like a 8th or 7th AC or something like that.
I was thinking that. I'm thinking about like seven to 9 range.
7th, 8th, 6th, 7th AC or something like that, which won't be too bad for them because then they'll probably have a pretty good game. The first game, probably a winnable game. So I can see them getting bounced in the second round, but yeah. Haters gonna hate. No, it's not hating.
Yeah, that's what Vaughn likes to say. That whatever helps you sleep at night, Vaughn.
I mean,
well, USF, University of South Florida men's basketball team, ranked 25th in the country, first time in men's basketball history that you are ranked. Welcome to the Dogs.
Just want to point out so he understands. We beat him by 11. So,
Vaughn, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Now, this very last dog of the week, one of my favorite young players in the NBA playing right now, as some would say, the best two-way guard in the league. Someone might disagree, Joe. But I believe that this young kid can score anywhere on the court. He plays the passing lanes very well. He has very good IQ defensively. Whether he's guarding your best player or not, he can make a difference on the defensive end. He does play in a good system in OKC. Remember, he was a part of the trade that sent Paul George to the Los Angeles Clippers. He's been to the playoffs twice, but it wasn't as the guy. He was more so of a role player during that time, or I wouldn't say a role player, but he wasn't the guy during that time. So he has some really good talent on his team with Chet Holmgren, who is technically in his sophomore season, but he did not play last year, so they consider it his rookie season since he's finally able to play. You got Lou Dort that's on this team. You got Josh Giddey that's also on this team. And then you got the young kid Williams, who's playing pretty well this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe, me personally, I could very well be wrong. I think he should be leading in the MVP vote right now.
Oh, man.
That's me.
Mm-mm.
However, I'm going to allow my brother to allow the second returning dog of the week, second time, because at first it was Juju Watkins from USC. If you don't know who she is, trust me, she is balling as a freshman in USC. But this kid, man, this young man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, is a part of the Dogs again for the second time. He's been balling this year. As I said, some will say, some will not. The best two-way guard in the league. Tony, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I had this conversation with when Joe and Tomo was on. They was talking about the next face of the NBA, and I mentioned this guy right here. And the only reason I mention this guy is because I haven't seen a night, even in losses, where they come on SportsCenter and just show one of the games where this kid ain't doing something amazing. Let's just talk about last week. He averaged 32. Well, since the last Doghouse, he averaged. First of all, OKC is 4-0. Let's just say that. He averaged about 32 points a game. His average for the season is like 31 something, right? So he's right at his average, right?
31.4.
Right. He averaged almost 7 assists, 6.75. So let's say 7 assists, right? He's averaging about 6.5 assists a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he grabbed 6 rebounds. That's pretty much a little bit higher than what he's doing in the season, right?
Mhm.
Most people would say, so here's what most valuable player in the league, right? If you take Jason Tatum off of Boston, right?
Mhm.
Does Boston still compete and win?
I would say yes because
The
of
answer would be
everything.
yes.
I would say everything they have around them. I would say yes.
Yes, right? You take them off. You take this kid off of OKC, do they win?
Hmm.
The
I
answer
don't
is
know. I don't know if they would be this high. I still think they would be a good team, but I don't think they would
but
be this high.
no, they'll be in a play-in. They'll be a play-in team. Definitely a play-in team. Boston wouldn't be a play-in team.
Nah, not at all. Boston would still be a top
They
3
would
team.
still be good competing. They will be competing in the top 5 in basketball in the Eastern Conference. So you take that into account, right? You take that into account. This kid, Houston could be dogs too.
Yeah, Houston basketball. Don't worry about the comments.
Oh, I would say Houston. Who? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking about with this kid. Like when you watch him play, like most valuable player doesn't mean the team. It doesn't mean the team with the best record. It's the player that's most valuable to their team. Who's the most valuable player? If you take him away, that team would tank, and OKC would tank. But this guy wasn't on their team. He has the numbers, right? He has the numbers. Does Tatum has the same numbers with him as far as rebounds and assists and stuff go too? The answer is no. This kid
No.
actually, I think he averages about almost two steals a game too, right? Or something like that too, right?
Yep.
So he has an all-around game. He's not just offensive rebounding. Jokic is playing the game. I'm not saying so. I would say that I would say that both him and Jokic are neck and neck, right? In there, I still would give the nod to this kid here. I still would give a nod to this kid here, and it's only because exactly that's what I was about to say. That kid hasn't scored has only scored under 25 4 times this year.
Crazy.
Like, you can't stop him. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't come in there and take away from this kid what he's doing for that team. He's put the team on his shoulder, no matter who's in the game. He's put the team on his shoulder. I watched him the other night, and I was like, man, this kid is magical.
He's
He
special.
has. I don't. You know how they say some people that don't have feet. He reminds me of Westbrook when he was playing for OKC, when they was feeding him the triple crown, when they were trying to feed him the triple double crown or something like that. That's what he reminded me. Remember that year, Westbrook had no fear. He was just like, I'm just going out and I'm just playing, I'm balling. I'm just going out and I'm
That boy
balling.
Russ was trying to dunk on everybody that year.
This kid here isn't he you just can't stop him. You know, and that's why I when I was asked like who were my dog of the week, I said it got to be this kid, because every time I turned on a game with him, he was like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Every time I turned the game on with him, he was in the air like this, in the air every single time. I was like, what the heck? Like every time I turned the game on, I was like, this nigga flying? It's like this dude flying? Why is he flying every time I turn the game on? But yeah.
He definitely has been flying. He's been balling, man.
You really have to give people their just due, right? And when you look at the all-around thing, the all-around game between all of them. Now, I will say Joker's playing well too, right? Joker with all the triple doubles and stuff like that. He's playing well too, right? So
wait, I got some stats for you about SGA as well.
Okay.
So games this season under 20 points, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Games scoring over 40 points, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Games scoring exactly 31 points, 12. Most in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild.
Yeah, he's balling, dude. And like you can't take nothing from him. And he comes out there like and the one thing that I like about him, he has impeccable body control. Oh my goodness, man. I be watching him. I be like, yo, this dude here. I like, he's special. He's special. Right. And you know, reason why I started looking at him? Because the one thing that Stephen A. Smith can't talk about is football.
Mm.
He tries to talk about it a lot because he hates the Cowboys and stuff like that. And he likes the Steelers and all the stuff like that. He can't talk about. But every time I watched the first take, he kept talking about about him because I really wasn't paying attention to SGA. I wasn't really paying attention to him. I'm a Pacer fan. Why would I pay attention to them? But you know what I'm saying? But
I get it.
But Stephen A. Smith kept coming in there, and you know how Stephen A. Smith make those looks. He kept doing this. He was like, "I'm gonna tell you, man, they better get out there on that boy." And I was like, "Who is he? What are he talking about?" And I watched a few games, and I was like, "Nah, my man is nice. He's nice. He's nice. Like Stephen A. Smith ain't like, this is one of the ones where I can say he's spot on with what this kid is." But anyway, that's why I said that he got to be a dog. He's probably a dog. He can pretty much be a dog every week.
He could be. He definitely could be. So now you see why SGA was brought up as the dog of the week for the second time on the Doghouse. Because he's just been balling, man. Right. Only 3 times this season he scored under 20 points. And he has the most games scoring exactly 31 points at 12.
Yeah, he's impressive.
Look, this kid is doing everything he needs to do. He's balling. He has OKC as the number 2 seed in the West right now. And the West has we know the West is the gauntlet.
Strong.
Because you got the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are number 1 in the West right now. You got the Denver Nuggets, number 3 in the West. You got the Golden State Warriors, who are now starting to play a lot better. You got the Kings that, you know, can still make some noise in the West. You got
Phoenix.
You got the Clippers. Like, these teams are loaded.
They tough.
And OKC is number 2 in that gauntlet of the West. Because this young man, has been balling out. So, SGA, welcome back to being dog of the week. You deserve it. Welcome. Now, we do have some potential people to talk about that could have possibly made it to either side. You know, I believe my brother has someone that he wants to talk about. So I'm going to allow him to have this last segment, something that I'm going to call honorable mention. So, honorable mention. Let's see who Tony wanted to talk about. Now, this is the Doghouse, not the dog of the week.
He was almost there.
He was almost there. And I'm going to allow him to talk about why he was almost there. So, Tony, the floor is yours.
Look at here. Now, I know, you're a new coach, right? You just got there, but you've been around football for a while. And, not to mention you played under arguably the greatest coach in football history, right? So you had to learn a little bit, right? You had to learn a little bit about some things to do and some things not to do. And right now you're doing the not to do things. Okay. All right. So Gerard Mayo, let's talk about you real quick. Listen, look, we got the money. We got the money. Okay. We got money. We got money. Why? Look, if you guys don't go after Kirk Cousins, right, and then take that 3rd pick and sign Marvin Harrison Jr., something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. Uh-oh. You got the money.
Uh-oh.
You got the money. And the fact that you guys are sitting there talking about, look, I'm not taking anything away from those 3 top quarterbacks right there. Although I will tell you, I don't think that the person y'all think is going number 1 is going to go number 1. I think the guy in LSU probably going to go number 1. But anyway,
Ooh.
like I'm telling you, man, don't make the mistake. Do not make the mistakes that Belichick made when it came to spending money. That one year when he spent money, that was just money that he was throwing out the window. He was like an open cash, one of those little armored trucks that be riding around when they're trying to get robbed and the money flowing out the back of the thing.
Yeah, you talking about when he signed Hunter Henry and the other tight end?
Yeah, when he signed all that stuff there, that's all it was, right? The only one that came out of there great was the linebacker we got from Baltimore. But other than that, nothing really came in there. The defense is pretty much good. We're going to sign all those guys back. We got the money. I think we're only behind Washington as far as money goes. So
for those of you who don't know, Washington has $79 million in cap space. The Patriots have $78 million in cap space.
We got the money. Use it. That's all I'm asking, man. Fix the offensive line. The stuff that I hear coming from out there, I don't like. I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't care. I like listen, Joe, they have the team to do it, Joe.
So for those of you listening, Joe asks, why would they get Cousins? They are not making the Super Bowl run.
Well, you get Cousins because you putting a rookie behind there is only going to do the same thing that happened with Mac Jones. You get a veteran out there that's going to get rid of the ball, make great decisions. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna want Mac. He ain't nothing but a backup quarterback anyway. I don't care what Teddy says. I said it beforehand. Did I not? Did I not say that? Joe, did I say that? I said he's nothing but a backup quarterback.
You said that.
So anyway, I'm giving him a chance. But if I come back on this show, the next time I get on the show, no, we don't want him. First, he can't throw the ball over the line. We don't want him. You got nobody back there playing circus behind the back of the line, running around trying to throw the ball deep down the field. We don't want nothing like that.
Cirque du Soleil.
Russell Westbrook. You didn't hear what I said earlier, Joe? You didn't hear my take earlier? Yeah. We can compete in there. We can compete in that division. With Cousins back there at quarterback, we can compete in there. You give him Marvin Harrison, you basically just give him the same receiver he has in so
Justin Jefferson? Oh.
You giving him the same receiver. It's the same receiver. Marvin Harrison and him the same receiver. Cousins is not going to Pittsburgh. They're going to be stupid enough to think that the guy that got there is good enough. I don't think that he's not good enough. I just think that I would like to see him. I would like to see him with a real offensive coordinator.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? Because what they had in Pittsburgh last year as an OC was not nothing. You know what I'm saying? So. I don't know, man. I don't know, Joe. That's a good one there. But you're talking about a guy that can be better than his dad. So,
well, apparently in the chat, I know you haven't been in there, but Kevo said that Marvin Harrison is not what we think he is to be a generational talent, and Devontae Smith is going to be better than Marvin Harrison in the National Football League. Also, his other Philly friend, his other Philly native, his other Philly teammate, fan, Blaze also said that Marvin Harrison Jr. will not be better than his father.
So here's my response to that, right? And no disrespect to those gentlemen, right? I don't know which syrup that they be drinking, but it's the wrong syrup. Okay, it's the wrong syrup. Sipping on some scissor. I don't know which one y'all drinking, but y'all y'all may not have been paying attention to that kid. Even with a horrible quarterback, he was still the best receiver. Well, I wouldn't say he was the. I still think the kid in LSU was probably a little bit better than him last
Malik
year,
Neighbors.
but he also had a better quarterback throwing the ball.
Yeah, he had Jaden Daniels throwing the ball.
So you mean you look at it in that sense, but even with a horrible quarterback, he still put up numbers. I'm just saying. So Devontae Smith, first of all, he should be happy. Devontae Smith should be happy they changed the rules for catching the ball, because the way he jumps in the air, if it was back in the day, his career will be over already. So,
well, there you have it. As the very last segment of the show, honorable mention. What he had was Gerard Mayo. You know, I think this was a good move for New England to give Gerard Mayo the chance. I believe he could be another version of D'Amico Ryans, what D'Amico Ryans did in Houston. But they have to be get all the pieces together first. But I like.
I think he's more like I think he has a chance to be more like and I don't know why we all picking black coaches. The coach in Pittsburgh, what's his name?
Oh, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I think he has more of having a Tomlin situation. All right.
That's good. Tomlin's a Super Bowl winning head coach.
And now here's what I would say. If he's going to be like Tomlin, then drafting Drake will probably be the better idea. You know, because this is a receiver and lineman heavy draft.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Hey, real quick, did you see what the lineman, the kid from Pittsburgh ran today? Jesus Christ.
That is crazy. Someone that pause, all you wild guys. Someone that big running that fast is scary.
Yes. It's like 449 or something. Yes. 449 or some crazy thing. Jesus Christ.
That was scary. If for those who don't know, the combine has been
crazy.
It's been crazy.
It's been sick. Yeah.
It's been crazy. Also, there was some breaking news that happened while we were doing the show. Caleb Williams declined to do any medical things during the combine. He's the first player to get invited to the NFL combine to decline to do any of that.
Yeah, because he listened to his stupid father.
So
he hasn't even signed an agent yet.
Nope, sure hasn't. No, he's looking to get ownership stake in whatever team he gets drafted to. So that's what he's telling agents right now.
What's the picture that we just talked about?
Blake Snell.
Okay. Yeah, I meant Penn State. My bad, Carl. You're right. Penn State.
Very Blake Snellish.
Blake Snellish right now.
But, you know, that is it for today's show. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. All the comments going crazy. Make sure you like this video if you have not yet. I will be back next week. More than likely, I'll be feeling a lot better. I don't know if you can tell, but I have been under the weather, but it doesn't matter. I'm energized. I'm excited about the show, especially having my brother on with me tonight. So that is all for us today. Last words for me. Miami, win or lose, don't get slaughtered tonight, please. That's all I ask. You know. We actually only down 2 points right now in the third quarter. So let's go, Miami. We can still win this game. So, man, like I said, I'm excited about what they're doing right now. Like, not overly excited, but I'm glad that they're playing a lot better. San Francisco, just hire a good DC. You know, don't make a mistake. Just please hire
the one you got.
Hire a good DC. I'm going to ignore what my brother just said, but hire a good DC, man. Let's do something. Let's retain some of these players. Get BA a contract right now, please. Don't wait until the season or preseason to give him his contract. Give him what he deserves. He balled out this year. He was clearly the best receiver on the team, so please sign him. And let's see where L'Jarius Sneed goes. I'm here. I'm waiting. I want to see where it goes. And don't know how true this is, but we've been considered the favorites to land PS2. I don't think he's going to get traded, but if he comes here, watch out. Tony, last words.
I would say this right here. Great job with Kyle Shanahan passing the buck on that Super Bowl with firing the defensive coordinator. Good job. UConn's going to go back to back. If you didn't pay attention, they don't like losing. When they lose one game, they normally go on a long streak. Anyway, let's see. I already talked about the Patriots, so we ain't talking about that. No one's talking about the Red Sox because, well, it's the Red Sox.
Exactly.
So, and then I just need the Pacers are playing a lot better. The one thing that they're doing that I like more than anything is that they're showing a better effort on defense. They still aren't playing great defense at all, but they're showing doing a better effort at playing defense. But then again, they were playing the Pelicans, so that's really not a,
Hey, Pelicans not a bad team.
I mean, if you're going to practice playing defense, it will be on the Pelicans. So
okay, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Fat not a shade. I mean, they do a better job of trolling Stephen A. Smith than playing basketball on the floor. But anyway,
Wow.
So anyway, I appreciate you inviting me on the show. I will definitely be back. Yes, I agree with you. I think that I'm sorry, Tomo, for making this comment. I apologize, Tomo. I apologize. But Purdue is pretty much the Dallas Cowboys of college basketball.
Oh my God.
So anyway, you guys have a good evening, and it was a pleasure being on.
I will definitely see you guys next week. Peace. Thank you for watching all the way through and tuning all the way into the end. Thank you for enjoying Dave's Doghouse. I hope you had a great show. Make sure you like this video and hit the notification button so you get an alert whenever I go live again or have another video and another episode. And also, last but not least, hit that share button. If you enjoyed this and you think someone else will enjoy it, share it. And also, thank you again for, tuning into this episode. And I'll see you next time. My guy, you in the Doghouse.